these hoes. Other than that, your mama, you have to be emotional because that's the only time your mother whoops you. You got no spanking when your mother was calm and not emotional. So that's why you're emotional. You were disciplined with emotion. You weren't disciplined with logical rules to follow. You got spanked when you were frustrated. You didn't get spanked normally and taught while you were being spanked. So you can't undo this. Only what's done now, we can't undo this. We'll be dead and gone before we see a new group of men that don't respond like us.
As a black man, what can I instill in a young black boy to make sure that he doesn't respond with emotion?
Treat his mother right and train your child's emotions. I mean, you got to spend time with your son. You got to spend a lot of time with your son.
For most kids in the hood, without a father at home, the streets will become their teachers. They'll learn how to use and sell drugs, how to rob, and commit other crimes worthy of sending them to prison. But wait, was this the plan of the white power all along? Of course, everyone should take responsibility for their actions, but it's hard to do the right thing when you've been thrown into a system where it's almost impossible. Growing up without a father will more likely than not leave psychological scars on a child, and too many black kids have had to deal with those scars throughout their entire upbringing. Take a look at Lil RT, a 9-year-old rapper who talks about smacking people with guns and running from the police. Apparently, little is known about his father, while his mother has been the one in charge of promoting his violent and explicit music. I mean, it'll take a miracle for this fatherless kid to refrain from his way of life. But that goes to show just how much the black home has been destroyed. I'll leave you with one more heartbreaking statistic before I move on to the next major concern in the black community. Brace yourself. But has anyone ever told you that 30% of the total number of abortions in the U.S. are done by black women? Hard to believe, but true. And this alarming act is another testament to how much the family structure among black people has been depleted. The high practice of abortion among black women has also led to something even more alarming, which is an increase in the underappreciation of human life. It has also led to a reduction in the civility with which black women treat each other. America knows a strong family is the key to building real wealth and change the world. And as long as we keep up this trend of single-parent households, we will just be doing exactly what they want us to do. We've been brainwashed since birth, but it's time for us to take our power back and realize who we truly are. If you're ready to educate yourself and learn the information they never taught you in school, click the link in our bio to grab our new Hidden History Workbook. It includes 10 hidden black history stories that schools and the media purposefully kept hidden from us. This will only be available for a limited time. Click the link in our description to grab yours now for free. Fourth concern, the victim mindset.
Video that got a deputy sheriff in Georgia placed on leave. It shows a black man being pinned and beaten during an arrest, and it is provoking outrage online. ABC's Elwin Lopez is in Atlanta with much more. Elwin, good morning to you.
We cannot deny the fact that the powers that be in America have brought poverty, violence, and crime into the black community. As a result of this, a lot of black folks have unfortunately developed a victim mindset. Not to say one shouldn't point fingers in the right direction, but blaming everyone else for your problems will do nothing to move you forward. This is another major concern within our community, as black people have now allowed their victim status to define their true identities.
Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. This is why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place, is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is.
The worst part is, playing the role of victim.
Okay, let's get into it. In my last video, is raising discussion about we as a black culture, are we getting ahead or we behind or still behind? And in that video, the last one I did earlier today, I was talking about, I mentioned about why we're able to go to school for free on the grade school level, middle school, and high school. But then when you get to college, which is the most vital teaching that we need to succeed in the real world, why is that being charged at a price or a fee? Why nobody talking about this? And if they are talking about it, I haven't heard the conversation about it. But maybe I did one time, which I stated. I heard Steve Harvey talking about, or they were discussing why college not free. And he said, well, who gonna pay for the electricity and the water if you don't charge for college, right? So I done thought about this for a long time, and I've been having internal discussions about this. You know, basically, okay, basically, you know, the conversation rose because in DC, we're we're entering legislation. They're trying to make laws about what we could do to curb the crime that's going on. It's getting real out of control where uh uh some kind of congressperson or senator got carjacked or a staff member. Oh, it's important now. Y'all coming downtown and you're bothering the officials. It then spew out of the hood area and it's downtown. It's so vivid to the point that the Wizards organization want to move to Virginia because it's no control over the crime that's going on in the downtown area. And I really don't understand that. We have Secret Service downtown, transit police, DC police, you know, whatever police down there. You got a hella load of security down there. Uh, what I'm missing, you know, all kind of outfits down there. Why is that area is not protected like it should be? Now, you know, that's not going to be a good look on uh, Mayor Bowser watch. Every mayor want to leave some kind of legacy when they're voted out. And she been doing some great things over her 3 terms. I think it's 3 terms now. And this not going to look good on her resume that you let a whole basketball and hockey organization leave the city to go cross the water. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even look. Virginia trying to give up $1 billion for that team to come over there. They trying to build a whole new omniplex with eateries and everything. So I think the organization is just looking at what's new, what's going to be. Okay, we already know about MCI Center or Verizon Center, Capital One Center. It's old news. It's passe. They want a new, bigger, vibrant arena, and the residents of Virginia don't want the they don't want the arena to come over because they don't want the traffic coming over the bridge. They don't want nothing over there. They trying to do a new cricket team, and George Mason is trying to build another, I guess, building on the land, on their land, and for another a bigger soccer team, something to that degree, you know. But so let's get into it, man. Why college is not free when all the other entities of school is free? So I'm raising the question and the notion of things will be better if more people got an opportunity to go to school. And it's not that they don't want to go. If you coming from an already impoverished, background, from, where you live, which is the ghetto, you already limited, you restricted already. So just from then to now, statistics have shown you get these loans and you go to school and you in debt. When you come out of school, it's no guarantee you're going to get the job you went to school for. I mean, that's just what it is. So now you're caught holding the debt of what you accumulated from school, plus you're dealing with the poverty you was already in. So what changed? All you did is made your life harder. So this is why people that have potential and desire to go to school opt out of not going. It is what it is. But let's say, now this is my idea. Let's say school is free from the beginning. I bet you will have a more influx of kids coming out of high school that will want to go to college, that will get a college degree if it was no fee from the beginning. And I'm talking about not rich family kids. I'm talking about middle class and poor kids coming from these backgrounds that's just making ends meet. Not nobody with fat pockets. You can pay for school for your children. I'm talking about, if you listed as middle class or you poor, you should be able to go to school for free from the front end. And what I'm saying is follow me. This is what I mean from the front end. Let's say hypothetically there was a program set up that if you qualified, you middle class or you poor, you live in the ghetto, you know what I'm saying? If your parents ain't making $300,000-$400,000, you qualify as lower middle class. To me, middle class, upper middle class, if you want to put levels on it, if you making $400,000 or $500,000, let's say $300,000, you should be in a good position to pay for school for your kids. I would say 200 on down, you just making ends meet on the strength that how high everything is. That's just what it is, especially if you're living in the city. DC, Maryland, and Virginia is extremely high to live unless you're in the rural areas that's not developed. You feel me? Unless you living like the Amish, you make your own food, you're not wearing designer clothes or, anything of that nature. So, yeah, that's how you qualify. So, for instance, let's say people that desire to go to college and don't want to have to worry about debt, let's let these kids go to school. And when they finish, they have to be obligated to pour back into that school that let them go to school. So what I mean is if you go to school for a 2-year degree, you're signing paperwork that you're going to pay 5 years or $500 a month from your 2-year degree. If you went 4 years and got a 4-year degree, 6 months after you graduate, you need to start a 10-year payment of $500 a month for 10 years. because you was able to go to school for free. Just pay for your books, not this high tuition. So that will be where you will get revenue back from your kids that graduated from your institution. You have fundraisers like they do. You have alumni giving money back, donating, you know, for the betterment of the school, as alumni do. Your success stories, you know what I'm saying? So, and the state can foot the bill as well. All these entities together, it can be done. So why not? What's the real agenda? In my opinion, society don't want everybody to be successful. I mentioned in the last video, I saw a movie or a documentary years ago, and they was asking this elder white man, you know, uh, is it feasible for everybody to be successful? And he said, no, it's not. Because who's going to serve me my coffee? Who's going to clean my house and wash my cars? So, no, everybody can't be successful. What kind of bullshit is that? So, if you really want society to change, then why higher education and higher learning have to cost so much? People dying in debt, never get the loans paid off because they trying to still live and have lives. They trying to get married. They trying to buy a house. They want to be able to afford food. Like, come on. So it's looked at as a setup from somebody that's already coming from an impoverished situation. You digging a deeper hole for yourself. And I feel like if you have more success stories of people going to school and being successful, and then now they're going to train their kids to be successful because mommy and daddy is successful. Whatever it is their expertise is and what they're doing. So now you're going to have a whole following of success stories. I feel like this is a bulletproof plan, like a bulletproof vest that will stop rounds. This will be a great idea. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm like, what are your ideas? What are your solutions? Why do you think we pay for college? My opinions is they don't want everybody to be successful. And who is they? Society. The upper echelon. Because they want people to be able to serve their food, wash their cars, clean their houses. So that's why you have the influx of violence, because people are depressed. They're feeling there's no hope for them. Every corner you turn, it's just seemed like you take 2 steps forward, you got to take 2 steps back. And then it just seems like criminals get away and get everything, when the regular hardworking person that's trying to be honest get all the setbacks, have all the setbacks, facing everything that's against them. I guarantee if school was free from the beginning, far as college, and then if you complete your program, whatever it is you're in, then you make payment. And then that's not a lifetime debt that's on your head till you die. It's a cutoff. We have money for whatever we want done. We can send money to Ukraine. We letting people come in through the border, and we, taking care of these folks. People coming from Afghanistan and New York, they providing housing, reward cards for these folks. You got homeless everywhere in the world, as far as the United States alone. So why you find money for different entities but not all? To me, it's a separation mechanism or weed out process. So it's on a level of dog eat dog. Dog eat dog world. So you got to scratch and fight and step on each other to get ahead and stay ahead. So everybody got to be aggressive and wicked and demonic to bite each other head off. To stay in position or get in position. So again, that's what I think. You will get more people wanting to go to college, and you will have more success stories if it's free from the gate, from the beginning. If you complete the program and you get a degree and walk across that stage, you got 6 months to find you a job and to start making $500 a month payment for either 5 years or 10 years. And that's just like the basic part of it. You will have more success stories. It'll be less people out here trying to carjack you, knock you in the head, trying to take your groceries. You ain't going to see people running in the grocery store and rolling out a cart full of food because people can't eat. People hungry. Like, come on, man. So let me hear your opinions. When you see this video, please comment. I want to hear your opinions. Why this conversation is not being held enough. And another thing, reparation. What I'm hearing from people I talk to, they're under the impression that black folks wasn't the only people oppressed in the world. I didn't say we were. You dropped a bomb on Japan in Iwo Jima. Them people are getting retribution. They're getting reparation. Indians was given smallpox. They get their reservations and casinos. They get checks. They don't pay taxes for what's been done to them. They were victims of being victims of their oil being stole. Watch the movie Killers of the Flower Moon. So as I'm watching this movie, I'm wondering, okay, so all these oil tycoon families, did they get in position like this? This is what was done? I'm just wondering. So in history, all ethnic groups been enslaved. From what conversations I've been in, even if it was by their own people. But why you give some reparation and others not? The Jewish from Germany, when Hitler, had the Holocaust over there, killed all them people. Them people get reparations. I'm like, we suffered 400 years of inhumane treatment just because of the color of our skin and because they could do it. So why you don't want to make it right? Why there's just an attitude of just get over it? I can't get over it because everybody else I'm seeing getting some kind of benefit. Let my kids go to school for free. Let us have free health care or something. It ain't got to be about a dollar amount. It just need to be a benefit for what my ancestors went through that's affecting me today. Because if my family could get wealth then, we will have it now, just like the generations of money that's on their fifth generation of wealth. So I'm just saying, you know, anybody that's listening and looking at this video, chime in, give your opinion, and you know. So I'm gonna call my sons, and they're gonna give their perspective. One just graduated A&T, and one is in college now. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna give their perspective on it. I'm gonna get them on the phone, and you know, let's get some kids' perspective. One that's in school now, and one just graduated school, and they both gonna owe money. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just what is their perspective if school was free? How would that help them live in their current situation? You know what I'm saying? You know, what will be better for them? You know what I'm saying? You know, so I'm just saying, I'm just trying to get other people's perspective, not just my own. I don't want to feel like it's just me belly aching because I have these conversations all the time. So I'm just saying, you know, let's get to, uh, you know, one college grad that owe loans, and one that's in school now that's going to owe loans. So let's get their perspective on how, if college was free, how would that change the game for them in the future, and how their lifestyle would change for the better. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know. Hello? Turn that TV down. I got you live. Yeah, so I just gave the format of what we talking about, why college is not free. What's the agenda or conspiracy? So what is your take on that? And then call Chris. I want to get his perspective from a college graduate from A&T, and you are a current college student. So what is your take on this?
I mean, college was never free, but now I feel like they're doing a lot with it that wasn't like 30 years ago. College was never this expensive, even compared to how stuff cost back then. Like a lot of college graduates from back then, they didn't have to pay or be in debt as much as we did when they even, or they just outright paid for college themselves. So there's a lot that we gotta go through, especially for like fresh 18-year-olds coming out of high school in a world where they're basically forced to already get a job, get a trade. Like it's a lot of pressure. So